Now available in paperback and e-readers. John Haynes, 1987. Learn lessons about life and teenage love in the 1980s in this coming-of-age John Haynes story. Get your copy of John Haynes, 1987 in paperback and e-readers at Amazon.com and online booksellers everywhere. I would often hear Ringo say in his videos and his live streams that he rolled solo. And this was something that I have been doing ever since about 1987, because when it comes down to you being a responsible black man, oftentimes the road you're going to be walking on is one where you're going to be completely alone. Now, the Bible says it is not good for a man to be alone. However, in this system of white supremacy, many black men are forced to walk alone because we don't have any allies in this country. No, many times we are behind enemy lines, and oftentimes the enemies look just like us. And because we don't know friend or foe, we've got to go out here and stay to ourselves if we hope to get anywhere in this white supremacist country. Now, the late David Carroll oftentimes talked about how he would keep his distance from himself from many Negroes as related to looking to preserve his own safety and his own freedom. And this is something that I myself had to do way back from 1987 when I was about 13 years old. And it was a hard lesson that I started to learn back at 13 years old, that if you are a black boy who hopes to look to go anywhere in this world, you're not going to be able to have any sort of friends because there are no allies among black males in this system of white supremacy. No, many black boys basically are ones who are into some stuff, and again, you don't want to see yourself get jammed up, so you've got to go out here and start putting distance between yourselves and other people in order to preserve your intangibles, such as your health, such as your safety, such as your freedom, and even your life. No, when it comes down to black men who want to go somewhere, they have to again start cutting off contact oftentimes from other black folks, because oftentimes when you're dealing with other black folks, you don't know what type of behavior they're going to have in social situations. Moreover, you don't even know what they're going to be involved with or who they are involved with. So it's just better to be by yourself because you know what you're doing. You know what you are going to do as related to your life. So oftentimes when a black boy has to think about going somewhere in life, the only way he can go is alone. And that was the hard lesson I learned back in 1987 when I was going to IS 148. Now, I thought I could hang out with some guys who were interested in comic books back then, and these guys basically got mad for whatever reason. I never knew what the reason was. And first they told me they did not want me around, and I was cool with that. And I just said, okay, you don't want me around, I will just go my own way. However, a couple of weeks later, they steal a bunch of comic books I had in my backpack. And after they stole the comic books, this is basically where I started to get the lesson that when it comes down to black males and even some Hispanic males, you got to really start putting distance between yourself and them, because this is where they're showing you that you have no allies and you're out here on your own. And then as I was having that conflict with these guys, another guy stole my Usagi Yojimbo #1 comic, and that almost got me arrested. And that was the start of me starting to realize, you can't really be around these black males and think that you can have friends, because there are no friends out here. No, just opportunists looking to go find someone to take advantage of. And that's why a black boy at a young age has to go out here and start thinking about walking alone. And that lesson was basically reinforced as I was coming up and going to high school. Now, as I was going to high school, this was the time of the crack epidemic, and during the time of the crack epidemic, what was going on was it was basically every man for himself, and many of these black males basically became, and even the black girls became so ruthless as they got caught up in their greed, as they got caught up in their greed and their quest for power, they basically didn't have any regard for anyone. And since they didn't have any regard for anyone, you had no friends or allies or an ability to make any friends. No, in order to survive, you had to be on your own because you couldn't really trust anyone. You couldn't trust anyone because, one, you had some of these black males, they would become extremely jealous if you even got a new pair of sneakers or you got a new pair of jeans or a nice jacket. They would get jealous of you and want to hurt you, or and worse, they would be sitting there simmering and boiling in anger, and you wouldn't even know it. You wouldn't know it that this person was extremely jealous of you and wanted to hurt you. So that was one of the reasons why a guy has to go out here and be by himself. Another reason is if he had a girl that other people saw was fly, basically these people would get jealous again and be looking to go out here and pull some dirty macking on you. Or if they saw that you had a strong masculine presence, you would have, again, guys being jealous of you for absolutely no reason. They would be on the side sitting up here angry, and you wouldn't know that this person was having these feelings like this. So that was one of the reasons why a guy had to start going out here and thinking about going it alone, because you had people out here who were this jealous and looking to go out here and look to hurt you. And again, this is what I ran into when I was going to places like Park West High School, again, dealing with these type of black males who were this kind of jealous and this type of angry. And again, because these guys were out here hanging out with drug dealers or being dope boys, again, it made them twice as dangerous. So that's one of the things that, again, started me on the road to walking alone. And as I was walking alone, I realized you couldn't have any allies after I got mugged on the train in 1989. Again, realized I was on my own. And again, if I wanted to go somewhere, I would have to go out here and not have any sort of connections with people, because people in the black community, again, we want to be a part of a community, but you can't be a part of a community because a lot of people, again, they are jealous, they are angry, and again, because they've been indoctrinated into this system of white supremacy, they are looking to, again, look to try to destroy anyone who is looking to go and look to be different, or somebody they just don't like at all. So you're basically on your own, and you have to roll solo if you hope to even survive and to be able to achieve or accomplish anything. You've got to cut off all contact from people, because a lot of times when you're dealing with people, you don't know who is friend or foe, or even if you want to be friends with these people, because a lot of times you don't know. One of the things that keeps you from looking to get involved with people is you don't know who is involved with who, because some folks, they basically are involved with these dope boys, they're involved with these gangs, and they can basically wind up jamming you up. They can wind up jamming you up because what can happen is, oh, you were hanging out with this guy, and all of a sudden, police are looking at this dude, and again, looking at this dude because he has affiliation either with some dope dealer or they have affiliation with some gang, and you may have no affiliation whatsoever with any of that, but because you know that person, you can wind up getting jammed up, because you could just be, again, walking and going someplace, and all of a sudden police roll up on you and they'll basically take you along. Or you could just be in a car, again, getting a ride, and all of a sudden the police stop the car, and all of a sudden they might find something in that car, and you're going to get a federal charge on you, and you had nothing to do with it except just be in that car. That was the kind of terror that many, again, brothers had to deal with. Again, you could wind up getting 10 to 20 years just for being in a car with someone, or walking down the street, going to the store with someone, all because they had affiliation with someone. This is the type of terror that black men, boys and black men, had to deal with during the war on drugs and still have to deal with almost 40 years later. And this is another reason why many black boys and many black men have to stay to themselves if they hope to go somewhere. If we hope to go somewhere, we oftentimes have to, again, go it alone because we have to deal with not only these jealous black folks, again, not just black males, but also black females. Again, there are black females who also get jealous if they see you out here doing things like, again, doing well in school, or you're in hobbies like collecting comics, or you look like you're looking to, again, accomplish anything. You got a lot of jealous females out here who really don't like someone because they're not fitting into their black box that's acceptable to white people. And that's another reason why a lot of black men have to, and black boys have to go solo. I mean, you can't even think about having a girlfriend because you don't know who she's involved with, because some of these chicks be involved with these dope boys on the side. Some of them be involved with gang members on the side, and you don't even know that she's involved with this guy, sometimes romantically, and what she's doing is just participating in her natural hypergamy, looking to get with the guy with the highest social status and the highest amount of resources, and basically is looking to play different guys. And while you're sitting there thinking, oh, I got a girl who's interested in me, no, she's just playing the field, but not telling any of these guys. And you don't know if you're going to run into one of these dudes. You don't know if you're going to run into one of these dudes. So a lot of guys out here, they will just say, look, I'm just going to stay by myself because I don't know if who she's involved with, what she's dealing with, because some of these chicks are ratchet out here. And because, again, you can't tell friend or foe, if you want to go somewhere, you wind up having to stay by yourself, even staying away from the women in your community, because you don't know if they're involved with Pookie or Ray Ray or the neighborhood dope man or the neighborhood thug. You don't know who they're involved with. And because you can't tell friend or foe, again, a black boy or a black man has to roll solo, has to go out here and be by himself if he hopes to, again, take any sort of course of direction in his life in order to go somewhere, and has to go and stay by himself because this is about his survival, because he's behind enemy lines, and because he's behind enemy lines and doesn't know who is an ally. This is why many black men who are looking to do something with their life just stay to themselves, because this is how they make sure that they can maintain their direction and be able to stay on a course to accomplish their goals. Now, another reason why many black men roll solo and have next to no friends or no friends at all is they, again, in addition to, again, you're dealing with jealous folks and you're dealing with people who, again, are affiliated with illegal activities, is you got a lot of dudes out here who can't control themselves and don't know how to navigate through their emotions. And when you're out here on these streets, you're just trying to go about your business, again, getting involved with folks who have little self-control can put you in a very dangerous spot, because if this dude, again, can't control himself, what he can do is, again, jam you up. Because if you're with this dude, and this dude, again, has very poor self-control, very poor impulse control, what that dude can do is go out here and you're on the street, and again, you're just out here, again, going about your business, and what happens is this guy, again, he bumps into someone and, again, starts an argument, or he gets upset. And as he's getting upset, he's saying all sorts of stupid things, stupid things, like saying he's got a weapon or something like that. That's where that guy can get you in a situation where he can either, again, get you hurt, or he might, if he's got a weapon, he might take out that weapon, and again, he starts firing that weapon, or he starts stabbing someone, and again, you're getting caught up in the middle of this. And again, police out here, they're not going to see you as an innocent person. They're going to see you as, in some cases, an accessory. And that's another reason why, again, folks, again, black men, smart black males, again, and black men and black boys, keep our distance. We keep our distance from folks, again, because you don't know the way somebody has been raised. And again, we don't know the way somebody has been raised inside of these single mother households, because a lot of these dudes who come from these single mother households, they tend to have poor self-control, poor impulse control. They don't know when to let something go, and what they'll take is a minor situation and escalate it into a major situation, where you can wind up either being in the middle of a shooting or a stabbing or some sort of fight. Again, you're in a situation you didn't even orchestrate, because this guy has poor self-control and just can't let nothing go because he's in his feelings and wants to hurt somebody because he wants to sate his feelings. But him sating his feelings can put you in a situation. So most smart black boys and smart black men start putting distance between themselves and people as related to things, because we want to, again, be able to do things in our lives, like do things like graduate high school and possibly try to go to college in some cases, or even try to get that job. And it's hard to do that when you've got all these crabs in a barrel. When you've got all these crabs in a barrel, basically out here, again, that one of them, if they attach to you, they can just wind up pulling you down. And a minor situation can wind up pulling you completely down, and destroying your life. So many black boys and many brothers out here, we have to wind up rolling solo. We wind up rolling solo because, again, it's the only way we can survive. It's the only way we can survive out here, because as we are behind these enemy lines, we are on our own. And with us being on our own, we understand at an early age that we have no allies, because the system of white supremacy basically divides black boys at an early age, divides us because what they want to do is keep us from coming together, and using our power as a group. And again, they basically use inside forces. They use inside forces as related to, again, derailing the family with the feminist movement and having boys being raised in these single mother households. They divide us because a lot of us, again, become spellbound, and we start looking to fit ourselves in the black boxes that are acceptable to white people. They divide us by, again, having us chase attachments and social currency and being jealous of each other for having those attachments and social, as related to social currency. And as we are basically fragmented as black boys, we start to separate from ourselves, and we sadly have to separate from ourselves because it's all part of survival. But that's not what God wanted for black people. No, we once had a strong community. As related to black people, even in the face of adversity of slavery, and even with the face of adversity as related to things. I mean, usually there were black people who could come together where friends could be brothers, but over the last 60 years, we haven't been able to do that, especially in the aftermath of the crack epidemic. During the crack epidemic, we basically were divided to be conquered, and that was basically as related to, again, undermining the golden age that Bill Cosby was trying to establish with his entertainment. Again, trying to show us how to work together, but we were being pulled apart because of the greed from the crack epidemic. And what was even worse was the addiction to money was worse than the addiction to crack. That was the thing that really separated families and separated friends. I mean, that addiction to money basically was the root of great evil. And again, the root of a great evil, because it made it where black boys and young black men had to walk alone in order to be able to survive, and we had to walk alone because we felt like we had no allies in our own community, even amongst each other. And even to this day, if you want to do something, you have to go out here and roll solo and walk alone, because there are no friends. Again, there are no friends out here when it comes down to black men, whether it be in school, whether it be on the job, even on places like social media. This jealousy among black males, again, undermines us, and white supremacy weaponizes that jealousy, and that's how we get the creation of these black bootlicks, these spellbound black folks who want to fit themselves into the black box that's acceptable to white people. They basically, again, want to gain that approval and that attention, no different than the drug dealers and the gang members who basically are bootlicks, just like those guys out there who are bootlicks. And again, this is why many black boys and black men at an early age understand if they want to accomplish something in life, they have to, one, stay to themselves, to go on stealth mode and not say a single word about anything until something is accomplished and basically in the can. You can't really talk to other black people about things in your life that are going on, because a lot of times when you are a black man, a lot of folks get real jealous and they get really upset, and they want to go out here and look to hurt you. But what's really sad is these spellbound black folks, they will see other people of other races coming into your community, opening up a business, and won't say a word to them. They'll see people of other races doing well in school, won't have a word to them, won't think about anything bad about them, won't ever even think about putting a hand on them. But if you are a black boy or a black man who's out here doing something, this is where this person gets triggered and believes that they have a justification to go out here and tear down anything that you want to build. And in order to be able to maintain what you're going to build, a lot of times brothers out here got to roll solo. We got to go out here and be by ourselves. We've got to walk alone, and we have to walk alone down this narrow road. Walk down this narrow road, because if we go on the wide road, these jealous individuals who are caught up in the sin of white supremacy, caught up in the ideals of white supremacy, mesmerized and spellbound by this white supremacist devil, they will go out here and look to hurt you again. And that's why you can't really present them with anything, because to present them with anything is like presenting pearls before swine. And again, if you put a pearl in front of a swine, like Jesus said, they will again become angry and look to hurt you, and like he said, rend you. And again, these people, again, they become angry because you're presenting them with something of value, and instead of appreciating what you're presenting them with that has value, what they do is become jealous of you and start seething with anger and want to hurt you. That's the sad part that many brothers out here have to deal with as related to trying to make a walk in life, as many of us try to walk down the road with Jesus Christ. As many of us try to walk down the road with the Messiah, we try to, again, look to help out our communities, but there's not much we can do. No, there's not much we can do, because while we have, again, black men who, again, and boys who say that they want to see good, again, they get jealous of someone trying to do good. Moreover, when you have women out here, they'll say, oh, I want a good man. But when that man is trying to put in that work towards being an example of God, and they're trying to be that example of God, that's when these women start to get argumentative and start to get defensive. And as they start to get argumentative and defensive, they don't want nothing to do with you, showing us how they're so spellbound and caught up in the world, and basically want to be accepted by the world more than following God. But sadly, many black men, we go down this road alone, and we don't want to go down this road alone, but we cannot have friends, because, again, people are more wedded to the mammon of the system of white supremacy than looking to serve God in the black community. And as they're looking to receive the mammon from the system of white supremacy, again, if you're a black man trying to do something in this world, many of those, because they're so caught up in getting mammon, will look to try to destroy you as a black man, and look to destroy you as a black man, because they value mammon and being a part of the system of white supremacy more than they value going out here and being a part of God's order. And that's why many black men And black boys who are trying to do something in their lives, again, wind up having to walk alone because you can't really have allies, because this is a real test of faith, as I see it in some cases. It's a test of faith that a boy learns at a very young age as related to following God. I mean, you have to, again, wind up by yourself because, again, when you're coming and dealing with black folks are, they don't really want to see anything except white supremacy and white acceptance. That's their God in some cases. I mean, that's the only observation I can make as related to this whole situation about black men and black boys having to walk so and by themselves. Because if you try to do something in this life, things like trying to do well in school, trying to go out here and then try to, again, make a living as related to trying to get legitimate jobs, I mean, it's like running into an obstacle course where your enemies are the people in your very same community. And again, a lot of them are enemies because they're spellbound, some of them because of the deep jealousies and angers that they have, because they don't want to take that minute to apply themselves in their lives. Others, again, have families that's, again, working against them. Even family works against you. So you're really on your own when you're out here as a black man. Again, when you're a black boy growing up, you learn that you're on your own at an early age. That's what I learned when I was 13, and it was just solid when I was 16 that, again, you're out here by yourself. And that's the whole sad part, is that you can be in a room full of people if you're a black man, and you're basically all by yourself behind enemy lines. And the sad part is, you know that if you're in that room, you have no allies. But that's not, again, what God, I believe, wants as related to things, because he said it's not good for a man to be alone, and it is not good for a man to be alone. But in the system of white supremacy, a black man is alone, especially if he's a brother who wants to do right, a brother who wants to do good. He's basically by himself, and he's by himself because, again, he's got so many enemies as related to not just those outside of his community, but those in his community and even in his own family. That's what the sad part is about black men who are trying to, again, grow up to become good brothers. Again, you wind up on your own. You wind up in a place where you get no support because Pookie basically can go out here, come out of jail, and he will get the full support of the black community. But the brother out here looking to do well in school, the brother looking to go to college, or the brother looking to just work his 9-to-5 job. I mean, I recently just did a whole story about a young brother who wound up losing his life because he went out on a date on IG with a female who wound up trying to rob him and then set him up to be murdered. I mean, that's the road of pitfalls and traps that good brothers wind up on, and that's why a lot of us wind up rolling solo. And you'll see many black women sit there and say, where are all the good men? Well, the good men have to be alone. The good men have to be alone because we don't know if you're gonna stab us in the back, or you'll be having some Pookie on the side and then talking about you not happy and hoping to get paid. That's what black men run into in this world as related to all of the resistance we run into. I mean, we're trying to do right and live by the standard of God, but the sad part is that many of these folks, they are still living in this world of white supremacy. Some of them even say that they are Christians. Some of these folks will say that they are Christians, but they don't understand that they have been caught up in a religion of white supremacy, a religion of white supremacy that has you looking to, again, not love your neighbor as yourself, but see your neighbor as an enemy, has you not looking to go out here and love the Lord with all your heart, soul, and strength, but looking to, again, go out here and not maintain those 2 commandments that Jesus established. No, they have you out here looking to, again, turn on your brother, turn on your sisters, and again, that's the road that many black boys are on, that at an early age. And again, if we hope to be able to accomplish something, we have to go out here and be by ourselves. Meanwhile, other people, they have allies and all these other people. And that's one of the things that undermines black men when we, again, enter the job market. Now, this was something that I ran into. Again, you're walking alone in order to try to get this diploma and graduate school. And as you're alone, you wind up having to stay alone because you don't know, again, who's friend or foe, what crab is going to grab on your leg and try to pull you down. So what you got to do is stay to yourself in order to get that degree or that diploma. But what that does is it undermines you because you're trying to, again, in order to get one of these jobs, you have to have contacts, you have to have a network. I mean, these are things that a man has to have in order to get one of these jobs. But this becomes another roadblock for a black man because he can't have those things, because he can't have any allies, because in the system of white supremacy, you don't know who is going to get jealous of you. You don't know who is going to be an enemy. You don't know who is going to try to take you down or who is going to try to sabotage you. So when you finally start, again, accomplishing those things, like, again, finishing school and then getting your degree, this is where you run into the hurdles in front of the job market. And again, because you don't have allies, you don't have contacts, you're on your own. And this is what makes it harder for black men to be able to find those good jobs. We really, again, we have to go out here and, again, work by ourselves because we don't have that support system in our community. No, our community was undermined and sabotaged by the system of white supremacy that turned us against each other. And instead of us seeing each other as friends, we see each other as foes, and we want to, again, hurt each other. And that's the sad part about being a black man, that if you want to then take the lead in your life, you have to walk alone. And as you have to take that road alone, again, it's not a good road for you. I mean, the Word of God says it's not good for a man to be alone, but he finds no help from his helpmeet because his helpmeet basically has been programmed to become a feminist and not a woman who wants to help him. His woman, again, is another enemy because she's out here with Pookie, caught up in the world and living in sin because she's caught up in that sin nature of hypergamy. She's caught up in that sin nature, and as she's caught up in that sin, she's basically not able to help meet your needs. That's the sad part about being a brother who's out here, again, looking to do right, is that everyone is doing wrong. And again, this is why brothers out here are rolling solo, because again, you don't know who is friend and you don't know who is foe. And that's why brothers out here, again, walking alone. We walk alone because we can't walk with other people, because any little thing can set them off. Any little thing can trigger that person. Then you realize that, oh, you have no allies, so you just got to keep it pushing. That's the way it is for black men out here. Again, that's the way we got to live in order to survive. The way we got to live in order to survive is we got to, again, do what we got to do and do what we got to do by ourselves, because there's nobody there who's going to go out here and look out for us but us. Now, this was a video that was requested by a viewer, and if you want to request a video, you can drop a donation to the PayPal or the Cash App for a minimum of $15 by clicking the link in the description box, and if I know something about that subject, I will make that video for you. And if you want to pick up some of my books on the SJS Direct imprint, you can find all those books in paperback and Kindle format on Amazon.com, and you can also find them at other online booksellers like Draft to Digital, Google Play, Barnes & Noble, and big box retailers like Walmart and Target. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, John Haynes, the man with nothing to lose. The man who rules the world runs into the irresistible force of a man with nothing to lose in this action-packed, all-new John Haynes series adventure. Get the regular and variant editions of John Haynes, the man with nothing to lose on Amazon.com today. Now available in paperback and e-readers, Esteemed Season of the Witch Girl. The aspiring angel takes on a wicked teenage witch in this action-packed, all-new Esteemed series adventure. Pick up your copy of Esteemed Season of the Witch Girl in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers today. Now available in paperback and e-readers, John Haynes, A Thorn in My Side. The man who rules the world takes on an agent from the CIA, from the Black Boule, in this all-new John Haynes series adventure. Get your copy of John Haynes' A Thorn in My Side in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere. Coming to paperback and e-readers, Spinsterella Goth Girl Summer. Take a trip into the macabre world of goth modeling in the new millennium in this all-new Spinsterella story. Pre-order your copy of Spinsterella Goth Girl Summer at Amazon.com and other online booksellers everywhere. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.